What's up, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. I'm on the road, so I figured I'd do a quick video. We have a heavyweight card coming on tonight on the PBC. It's going to be on Fox Sports at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you're looking for some boxing to watch, I won't be covering the fight live tonight. Unfortunately, I won't be home. But pretty solid heavyweight card if you're looking for something to get into. The fight is going to be at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. I normally go to a lot of these fights, but I won't be going tonight. All right, but solid heavyweight card for the PBC tonight. I know a lot of people are going to be watching the UFC pay-per-view later tonight. So, you know, if you're looking for some boxing to watch, check this fight out. All right? All right, so let's talk about it. We're going to have Adam Kownacki. He's going to be fighting Robert Helenius. All right, and in the other card, you got Efe Ajagba. He's going to be fighting Razvan Cojanu. All right, that's the guy that's been in there. He's actually been in there a lot of. He's a journeyman now. A lot of step-up fighters, guys that's coming up, fought. Daniel Dubois fought him recently. Nathan Gorman fought him. Who else fought him? Luis Ortiz fought him. I've seen him a good amount of times, you know, and I keep watching them because I try to compare what these fighters are doing, you know, against, you know, common opponents. And then you also got Joey DeWaco going to be fighting Frank Sanchez. I haven't seen Frank Sanchez fight yet. All right, but I see he's undefeated Cuban heavyweight. You know, I'm sure Mr. Boxing Today has spoke on he talks all about the heavyweight. So I personally haven't seen him fight yet, but I see that he's an undefeated Cuban fighter with a lot of knockouts. All right, not ranked that high yet though. All right, so it's an interesting night. I don't know which fights are going to be televised, but I think those three fights I think are going to be televised. All right, so probably going to get some knockouts in there. I know there was a lot of pushing and back and forth between DeWaco and Sanchez. I don't know what that was all about, but you know, Efe Ajagba is a knockout artist, and you know, Adam Kownacki is a knockout artist as well. So I'm expecting knockouts in all three fights here. All right, so let's talk about Kownacki and Helenius. Now, you know what? Once upon a time, this would have been a really good fight. And when I say once upon a time, I mean just a couple of years ago, I think this would have been a pretty solid fight. All right? The thing is, Adam Kownacki at this point is like an elite heavyweight. He's an elite contender at this point. You know, I can see him losing to other guys, but I'm saying like the very best at the division. I'm talking about top 10 fighters. I can see top 10 fighters, some beating him. But I can see him beating a few of them too. Robert Helenius is past his best days. He's been in there for a long time. He's 36 years old. He's been in there with a lot of fighters though, you know. Had a tough fight with Derek Chisora a while ago, you know, very close, debatable fight. You know, I mean, he's even beaten like old school heavyweights from last generation, like Layman Brewster and Samuel Peter. You know, and I know Samuel Peter got recently, I think this guy Pulev fought Samuel Peter not too long ago, which was crazy. But, you know, Helenius beat those guys years back, you know. But he's been in there with a lot of people. He's been in there with Dillian White. He's been in there with pressure fighters. He's been in there with good boxers. He recently got knocked out by Gerald Washington, which was pretty surprising to me. You know, Gerald Washington is not really a KO artist. I mean, he'll knock you out, but once he every time he steps up, he either struggles or get knocked out himself. You know, he hasn't really performed well against any top heavyweight that he's faced. So I was very surprised that Helenius got knocked out there. But Kownacki is a beast, man, and you know, being in there with Areola, going to war with him, going to war with Charles Martin, who recently knocked out Gerald Washington, you know, knocking out Spilka. Kownacki's on a good run right now. And I just can't see Helenius hanging in there. He's a good boxer. He's a very good boxer. All right, and he packs some punches, you know, he got some power, but how long is he going to stay away from him? I mean, he moves well and everything, but Kownacki's a guy that he ambushes you, you know, and he's a pressure fighter. And he's very, very durable. And I just don't think, you know, Helenius, like I said, a few years back, maybe even more than that, I could see him, you know, possibly winning on points or something, but he's past it, man. He's past it. I'm sad to say. Being knocked out by Gerald Washington, and it's not a diss to Gerald Washington. He's a good fighter, but that knockout was probably his most credible win. You know? I mean, even Amir Mansour gave Gerald Washington hell. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't know what Razvan Helenius really has to offer. It's kind of like a tune-up at this point for Kownacki. And, you know, I know early on Helenius, he's a good fighter, so it's not like he's gonna just be some pushover, but at some point, not early, but at some point, you know, midway through third quarter of the fight, I see Kownacki stopping him. Right? Maybe halfway through, you know. I give Helenius, you know, 6 rounds maybe. Alright, I see Kownacki stopping him. It's just too much. So Efe Ajagba is gonna be fighting this guy Cojanu. And I think this is a good fight because Ajagba is just moving a little bit slower than some of the other guys. I know maybe just like a year ago, a year and a half ago, I made a video about him and Daniel Dubois. And I basically said, like, these guys are on a come up, you know? Ajagba got that video that went viral of the guy that walked out of the ring on him. You know, and his name started buzzing since then. But his last 2 fights, really competitive. As he's slowly stepping up, the fight's been tougher, and he's been shown to be a little bit one-dimensional. Okay, he has a 1-2. Outside of that, really doesn't have much. You know, in our last couple fights, I've been saying it. I mean, even the commentary in the fights, he really doesn't have much. You know, he needs to start bringing on a more variety in there. You know, I can't remember who he's training with, but you need to work on some other things, right? Because he's becoming more and more predictable to his opponents as he's stepping up. He fought that one undefeated fighter a couple fights back, and I believe that fight went to decision, but this guy was landing some big, I mean, he was timing and countering Ajagba over and over again, you know? And then his last opponent, even though he stopped the guy, it was a war. It was a great fight. I don't know if I was live covering that fight, or I might have did that fight. I know I covered it like maybe weeks, but that dude dropped Efe Ajagba in the same round that Ajagba knocked him down in. It was a great back and forth. I mean, this guy was just timing him over and over again, and I was like, you know what? It's time for Ajagba. Like, you're not gonna just rely on your power. It's time for you to expand on your skills at this point. So I think he's gonna be moving a little slower. You know, I know Dubois is gonna be fighting Joe Joyce soon. But it's time for Ajagba to start working on things, and he's not going to be able to move up so quickly, and that's okay. Just get everything right, you know, get everything on point as you're going up, you know, capitalize on your mistakes now. He needs to. All right, but I expect him to get a knockout win here. All right, but I don't think it's going to be as early as Luis Ortiz or as early as Daniel Dubois. All right, but it should be a good fight. Now, Joey Dueco's fighting this guy Frank Sanchez. Again, I can't really give you much of a kind of just put it in the news out there that they're going to be fighting. You know, Dueco is this guy that, you know, allegedly knocked out AJ in there sparring before the Ruiz fight. And he's a pretty good fighter. You know, he definitely has similarities to Andy Ruiz. He's short, he's quick, he's a good pound puncher, he can box well. But he has a lot of losses, you know, but he's a good boxer to watch. Again, you know, when I first saw him, you know, when I first heard about him, I immediately looked him up, and I do see the similarities there with Ruiz. Okay, he's short, he's a little chubby, but he has pretty quick hands. He has good timing. I see endurance being an issue there, and there's no surprise there because, you know, of his size and his physique. But he's a good fighter to watch. I don't know about this guy he's facing, though, so I can't break that fight down. I haven't seen Frank Sanchez fight yet. But solid heavyweight card, you know, nothing big, nothing major, but if you want to tune into some boxing, Seth, definitely something to look at, especially if you're looking for knockouts. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that, man. Hope everyone has a good day. Real quick video, and I'm out.